So this is my third ever experiment for the thought transmission series, or whatever you guys want to call it, and you guys seem to really like these, so I am trying my very best to do them more often. I know a lot of you have been asking me to do this series with someone that I don't know or with someone that I haven't spoken to, and what I think you guys mean by that is when you say someone I haven't spoken to, you probably mean someone I have not spoken to in a really long time and someone that I don't have contact with whatsoever, meaning we aren't even mutuals on social media. I have no way of seeing them at all. It's not even an acquaintanceship. It's not even like a mutual ship or whatever you want. I don't even know what I just said, but you get the point. Here's the thing. That's not going to be done on my channel. I'm not comfortable with getting in touch with anyone in the past that I don't talk to at all. I don't think you guys mean, oh, hey, this person from high school that you haven't talked to, but you're still in kind of contact with because you still comment on each other's posts and you still follow each other on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. And yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be doing that. I don't want to entertain anything from the past. That's not me. That's not where I am. That's not what I want to do. I'm not comfortable, but I'm very sure that someone out there will do it, and someone will take the idea and do it on their own and show you guys the whole process, but it's not on this channel, sorry. However, I will indeed do a thought transmission experiment with someone that I did not know prior to, which is what this is right now, which is what this whole entire thing is for this episode. So in this episode, I am going to be talking to the lovely Erica Campbell. She is a freelance writer for UPROXX, and she works with Paper Magazine, and she has worked with a lot of really cool, credible, amazing magazines, platforms, and has interviewed a lot of celebrities. She's a very amazing host, and she's just really cool. Y'all should really get into her. Like I said, I did not know Erica prior to this. I didn't even know how to get in touch with UPROXX, and I didn't even know where to even look. I didn't know. I was fresh. I was new to this industry, still am. Here is some background as to how this whole thing happened. So it all started last year in April. Not this specific manifestation, but let's just stick with me here, walk with me. This was right after my first ever magazine cover. I had thought, why not just do it now? So in April, I decided I was going to go to Los Angeles, go to California, and see how I liked it to live there. Because obviously, if you're in my industry and you're in Florida, that's not going to work out. I'm sorry. But I mean, it could if you manifest it, but realistically speaking, I didn't want to be there, and it's just not the ideal area for entertainment industry. It's just really not. So I've already experienced New York. I told myself I'm going to go to California for a few months, and I'm going to just live there, see how I like it, and see how much work I can get, and see how much I can check off on my list. So I went in April. April was when I started with my team, and they're amazing. They're lovely. And I had started with my team, and I had a list, and I talk about this list a whole lot, but it's a cool list, long list, but I've had this list since December of 2023, and I was really back and forth on taking action with it, but I will say I really started to take action with it in April of 2024. Beside the magazines, like more so on the event side. I was on and off with it, like I said. I did do some in December, I did some in January, took a break, did some in April. Don't mind me. Like I said, I moved and I had a list of events I want to attend: Netflix premieres, Hulu premieres, Paramount, Amazon, and then just independent movie premieres, listening parties, gifting suites, all of these things that I wanted to attend. And I had them on my list, and I have two separate lists, of one with brands and designers I want to work with, and magazines. That goes on one list. The other list is events I want to go to, gifting suites, listening parties, all of those cool events that I want to go to, mixed with like platforms and websites that I want to work with eventually, like article wise, have an article written about me or do an article for them. You get the point. I just told myself, hey, I don't know how this is going to happen, but it's going to happen. I'm going to go to these events, and I don't know how, but they're going to find me, and I'm going to go. Right when I go to LA, that's what I'm going for. I'm going to go for work, and I'm going to go for these events. And right when I landed in LA, I booked a music video, and I booked a campaign. I did the events. I was doing really well with the events. I was able to scratch some events off. I was able to scratch off Paramount. I was able to scratch off Hulu. I've been able to scratch off Netflix. It's still on my list because when I did get invited to Netflix, I didn't get to walk the carpet. All I did was I got to attend, which was really fun. And then I had to come back to Miami unexpectedly because my grandpa had sadly passed away. So I had to come back in May, and I stayed with my family for around a month because the funeral planning took a lot of time and I just wanted to be there for them. So I came back, I stayed, and then I went back in July to Los Angeles, and I resumed where I left off. I picked up where I left off, and this time I added some more publications into the mix. I added some more events, but my main focus was publications. And that's when stuff started happening for me behind the scenes with magazines that I can't speak about yet. Stuff also started happening to me with UPROXX. UPROXX was one of the platforms on my list of platforms and all that stuff that I just told you about that I really wanted to work with in some way. And mind you, again, I did not know how it was going to happen. I did not care about the how. I didn't even know anybody that worked with UPROXX. I didn't know how to get in touch with UPROXX. I didn't know. I had no idea. I had no clue. And mind you, when I was manifesting this, when I was affirming for this, I did not go little by little. I don't really do that. I used to, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Right now, I'm in the phase where I just don't want to. I just will like the list method, whereas you make a list, like I told y'all, and you write down everything you want, and you just tell yourself, this is gonna find me, it's gonna happen for me, they're gonna come to me, it's gonna happen somehow. I don't care how it happens, but it's gonna happen. And or you could just talk to yourself like it already happened, like, oh, everybody on this list has already reached out to me. But in my case, I talk to myself as if it's going to happen, as if I know I'm going to cross off every single person on this list, and I carry that mindset with me. So I remember specifically, it was July. That was right when I came back, and that was again right when I had started manifesting again for the platforms and all that kind of stuff, the events again, all that. I was coming from an event, or really a gifting suite, was it? It was one of those things. Maybe it was a fitting, I don't remember. I don't want to really talk about that now because it's a story for another time. But it was a brand that I was at there. I think they were fitting us for one of their parties or whatever. This was actually a brand that I had wanted to work with when I was in my influencer era. And they had straight up told me, I didn't know about law of assumption back then. I was a law of attraction girly, and they had straight up told me, no, we don't want to work with you. Now that I am a law of assumption girly, I wanted to avenge myself and be like, well, I really want to work with this brand. So I told myself, we're going to work with them somehow, some way. And I ended up going to their event and getting fitted by them, and it was amazing. And I was in the car ride back, and I remember specifically I was checking social media, saw a message. I'm pretty sure if I can find the tweet, I'll put it on the screen, but I also have our DMs. I remember Erica had reached out to me, and I don't know how she found me, but you'll find out in this video. But she had reached out to me, and she had said, is there any way I can get in contact with Taylor? And she Instagram DM'd me, she DM'd me on Twitter, and then she also like publicly tweeted me if she didn't delete it. She reached out to me, and I reached out back, and I got back in touch with her, and the rest is history. We did our interview, and I'm on UPROXX thanks to Erica. A few points I want to hit before I get into the video. I was not specific. I just did the list method. UPROXX was on the list. Got back added in July. July was when I added UPROXX, and a lot of other people. I added UPROXX in July, and that's when it happened. I did not know Erica. I did not know of Erica. I did not know Erica worked for UPROXX. I didn't know how UPROXX worked. I didn't even know how to reach out to UPROXX again. Yeah, she found me, and that is just proof that whatever needs to move, whoever needs to move for you to get your manifestation will move, but your only job is to keep your eye on the prize and decide that this is true for you. You have it now. This is how it is now. And that is exactly what I did. I did not beat myself up, run myself crazy about how's it gonna happen, who do I have to reach out to, maybe I should email them first, oh maybe I should reach out for this, and maybe I should that. No. And for a lot of my events and magazine covers and press, I would say a lot of it is through my team, but most of it is they find me somehow. I don't know, people have my email now. I don't know how, but people have my email, and they find me with my email. They will reach out to me on social media, which is what happened with the magazines. They will reach out to me to attend award shows, or reach out to me to attend red carpet premieres, which is my Netflix premiere. That's what happened with that, because that was before I even had my team. A lot of it is through me. That's what happened with my runway shows. That's through me. That was directly through me, and I'm very proud of that. And no one is gonna tell me that I didn't do that, or tell me that it's fake, because go heal. This is what happens when you affirm for someone that you don't even know. Yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, just 4 questions about the thought transmission experiment. I don't know if you've the last 2, but
I have. I watch your YouTube channel, so
thank you. I'm glad. So it's just that vibe, basically. It was last year or maybe a few months ago. I'm pretty sure you reached out to me for an interview on UPROXX. And I'm also very pretty sure you didn't know that UPROXX was one of the like articles, websites on my list, my Google Docs list that I've had sitting there since January 2024. And I just told myself, I didn't specifically affirm for UPROXX. I just said that everyone on this list is going to find me one way or another. I don't know how, I don't care, but it's going to happen. and it happened.
Of course,
So,
it's
uh, I just want to know, how did you find me?
going to be so fun.
Oh.
So I had to go back and look through the email thread
Uh-huh.
for UPROXX. So many things happened, by the way, for this to work out. I'm not even so I'm not sure how I found your Twitter in
Okay.
general. I follow a lot of like Neville Goddard law of assumption content,
Uh-huh.
and I think it could have been that. It could have been me following Pop Crush and seeing your cover.
Uh-huh.
I just remember being like, this is so amazing. She is a beautiful Black woman. She's talking about law of assumption. She's got good taste in music. So I think you were tweeting about like the
Mhm.
Strokes. I was like,
Yeah.
this is such like this is my ideal, person in reality where like they're kind of doing things that I believe in, but also creating their reality and really creating their own lane at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So I started following you, and I remember because I stopped getting coached for a while because I'm like, people tell you all sorts of things, and you're like, I just need to trust myself.
Mhm.
Um, but when I saw your Twitter, I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if she did coaching as I just want to talk to her.
Hmm.
And I remember being like, I'll figure out a way to talk to her.
Ah.
I was like, she doesn't do coaching, but like there has to be a way to talk to her. So I just like locked that in my head,
Mm,
didn't think about it again.
mm,
I followed you for a while. We weren't following each other, and
mhm,
I would just like look at your tweets and just kind of use them as my own like inner coaching like throughout the day, just be like reminded like you create
mm.
your reality, like watch your thoughts, watch your assumptions. Um, and then at the same time, because I work with UPROXX as a freelancer, they had reached out to me and a few other writers about Black Music Month.
Okay.
And so I believe it was in May, like it was May of last year, but they were looking to highlight Black musicians.
Okay.
And so I just went through the thread right before this call,
Mm,
and it was basically like, we're looking to highlight Black musicians.
mm.
And then it changed, and my editor was like, actually, scrap that. I don't think this is going to happen.
Oh.
They decided they want to highlight Black entrepreneurs. I
Oh.
was like, that's interesting. And so we're still on the thread. I'm like, he's like, but pitch me some. No, he didn't say just pitch me some. He was like, I'll get back to you once this is cemented.
Mm.
So I got back to him like a month later and was like, are you still planning on doing this Black entrepreneurs thing? And he was like, that's so weird. Are you reading my mind? Like I was about to send you this email. And he was like, can you send me a few people that you think would be cool to highlight? And I was like, oh my goodness, Taylor would be great to highlight.
Oh,
So I
wow.
send this to him and I'm thinking like, Philip is somebody that I've worked with before on like stories just about music. Like he's a
Uh-huh.
photographer too, and we go to festivals. I don't think that he's gonna accept this pitch on this topic that is very me of like she's a model, but she also does law of assumption because I worked that into it because I was like, I want to talk to her about how she creates things because
Uh-huh.
she doesn't do coaching and I want to see how she's made these things happen.
Uh-huh.
So I want to put this in the pitch so that we can have that conversation and it's not just about your modeling.
Right.
And he was like, no, this is great. And
Oh.
I was like, that's fantastic. So we ended up, he accepted the pitch, and then I reached out to you. And at first it was like a little hard. I think I tried to reach you on Twitter and then maybe Instagram. And
Yeah.
then eventually I think you saw the messages and we followed each other and then we had the conversation. But when I look back on the thread of it, like I was manifesting landing an article because I wanted to like make money from working with UPROXX, but I
Okay.
was also actively being like, I really want to talk to Taylor because I really want to know from her how she creates her reality. And so in my mind, I was manifesting this actively. So when you told me like, hey, I want to talk to you about UPROXX because I manifested that, I was like, I manifested that. So and it's so funny to look back on
Mhm.
how many things had to happen. Like
Oh, yeah.
they had to pivot their entire
That's crazy. Yeah.
project. I had to see you online. I had to interact with you. I had to get in contact with you. All of these things happen. And I'm just like in the background thinking, like, this is my manifestation, just like getting it done for you to be an UPROXX. And I just think that's just such a testament to how reality works and how, like, you never know what's going on behind the scenes to create what you want.
No, it's true. And it's just proof that it doesn't matter what needs to move or who needs to move. It doesn't matter at all. It'll move. You just
Yeah.
have to keep your eye on the prize and be like, hey, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be. This is true now. This is
Yeah.
what I decided. And people will move just like
People
that.
move, people email, people pivot, come decide they're going to
Yeah.
do a different campaign. Also, I think one of the things you talked about in your last video with your
Uh-huh.
friend about thought transmission was this idea of like free will. I don't think that people are like forcing people to do things that
Yeah.
don't work well with them. And it's like, I really genuinely think what happened between us is a testament to like people, everybody getting what they wanted and
Mm.
everybody being happy and everybody being like, oh my God, look what I created. When in reality, it's like we were somehow in this center of both creating the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no, I agree. So basically, you said that what was going through your head when you wanted to interview me was you had found me prior to in May, and you decided to reach out because I have the screenshots. I want to put it on the screen so no one's like, "Oh,
yeah.
you guys are lying." Like, girl, please.
No, we're not making this
But
up.
but yeah, I do have. I think the screenshot was from July.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And also I can share the conversation I was having with my editor too. Just like block out his email. But
Yeah.
the whole time I remember being like, I really want to talk to Taylor. Like I really
Yes.
want to talk to her. I gotta know how she's like what parts of, what I believe is she believing? Because look what she's creating on this like massive scale. Yeah, and it was, and I still like you're like even talking to you, I'm like, no, I wanted to do that genuinely. And I'm happy that we did that. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
I'm so glad we got to connect over that. But in my head, it was 100% my idea. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's like you didn't feel forced in any way.
Not, I mean, the only energy I had that felt maybe like a pulling was my own desire that was very like I still got to take what I learned from you outside of it to be like, okay, I really want to know in her own words, one on one, how she creates her reality. And that was the thing that was pulling me to do it. And it still felt like, okay, I got what I wanted out of that. And I
Uh-huh.
got to see your perspective on that. So, and that was the drive that I had. It wasn't, but outside of that inner personal desire to be like, I need to talk to her about this because I want to know this just like on a life level. And it would be great to do this for UPROXX because it makes sense for, their campaign that they're doing right now. There was no like no weirdness, just what I wanted to do.
Nothing in your head like, oh, she's totally manifesting me to do this.
Not even a little bit.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
didn't like that was not a I was just like self in my head I was like I think I'm going to talk to her. I really want to talk to her. It'll work out. I'll figure out a way
Yes.
because she doesn't do coaching, so like we'll probably talk. Like I just knew it was going to happen, but I didn't think that you were a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to really touch on because I know
Yeah.
people have questions a lot about, oh, well, what if they know that I'm manifesting them to do this? Or what if they know, what if I'm forcing them to do this? It's no, it's just, it's their
No.
own thought. You're just choosing
Yeah.
basically what they do, and that's how it works. It's not like witchcraft
Yeah, and people
or
get iffy about that. Like
yeah.
my dad's a Baptist minister, so I think when I first started reading Neville, I was very like, "Oh, what am I?" And
Oh, same.
it's not that. It's just science. It's just life. It's like you don't
Right.
have a choice. It's how things work, no matter what. If you say you don't want to do it, you can say that you're still doing it.
Right.
You
Right.
don't have a choice. You can't even say like, "Oh, I don't want to mess with someone's free will." It's like you were, no matter what you do, no matter where you hide
Yeah.
you're gonna impact people like if you wake up, if you go to sleep, if you breathe, if you're a human, you're creating your reality no matter what. It's just a question of like, do you want to be conscious about it and create what you want? Or do you want to just be automated and create things you don't want because you don't, it's gonna happen either way.
Right. It's you don't have a choice. This is
You
just
don't have a
how it
choice.
works. It's just
Yeah.
life. It's just now it sounds strange because obviously we weren't taught this, we weren't told this growing up, and therefore anyone who says it, it's like, oh, that's not real, or oh, you guys are crazy. No, this is just how it works. And this is why you
Yeah.
either get what you want or you don't get what you want.
And I totally get the idea if you come in because I'm sure you get messages like this a lot. Like if you come in from the level of not knowing anything about it and you hear
Yeah.
that, you're thinking, oh, so we're just forcing people to do stuff and like we're
Yeah.
getting people to feel, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, not exact. Like I see why you would think that, but
Yeah.
it's not exactly how it works. There's a lot of other things happening. And if you're forcing someone to write about you at UPROXX, you're also forcing the lights to be on in your apartment and you're forcing like your feet to move to walk outside. Like it's the same thing. Like
Right.
just thinking and you're just living, and that's how living and thinking works.
Right, right. And if you are, I don't know, employee of the month, you think you're a really good employer, you think you're really good at your job, then by that logic, you're probably also forcing everyone else to see you that way. Or you're
Yeah.
forcing your boss to give you a raise or promote you. And that's just not how it works.
No.
That's how you think of yourself. So that's how other people are going to think of you too, or that's what you think is going to happen. But yes, so
I just love it so much because I always think about like when I have something that I'm like nervous about creating and I'm like, is it going to work? Is it going to work? You try to, you think you know what's going to happen or you try to control it. And it's like, you can't really control it because you don't know the steps. But looking back on it and seeing how many things had to happen for this to happen, it's just wild to me because I'm like, oh, that's so amazing. Like, people on the outside, like Phillips, the owners of the company, the label that owns the company. So many people were involved
that's crazy,
for
actually.
that to happen. You know
That's
what I mean?
wild.
Like
Yeah.
it's like they had to go actually axe that, but we still want to highlight this. Like,
Yeah.
so you
And
just gotta sit back and just know what's gonna happen.
right. And also, a lot of people don't understand how this entire thing works because there's like people, obviously, I mean, we're talking about manifestation and there are skeptics, and there are people who are like, oh, well, you can just advertise yourself on this site, or you could just pay them to write about you. Or,
Oh yeah, that's a big thing too, I think is worth noting for people. Like, no, you can't. And I get that a lot too because I work in media and I got a book deal. And I remember I had
nice.
the tiniest little thought. I was like, I really don't want to work more. I really don't want to like do what I'm doing. You know what would be great is if like I got a book deal. And I was like, I don't know how book deals work. I don't know how, I've never had a book deal, but I know they give you an advance. And
Right.
that advance would be better than finding another job and working harder. And so someone reached out to me about a book deal. And it worked out. And every single person I talked to was like, "So what did you pitch them?" And I'm like, I didn't pitch them. They just reached out to me. I didn't know that you pitched.
Yes.
I had no idea. I just said, I want a book deal. I didn't think about it too heavy. I tried to do other things on the side at the time. But then when it happened, I was like, oh, that reminds me of the time that I was like, it'd be great to have a book deal. Like it was that simple. And even with music journalism, like
Hmm.
I didn't know that people had to like there are people that go to J school and they, work at certain publications. I decided into another career, I would like to be a music journalist. Had no idea how hard it was until once I got to a place where people were like, "So how did you do that?" And I'm like, "What do you mean how you do it? You write about music."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. I feel the same way because that's me with my modeling, with my runway shows, with
Yeah.
my magazine covers, with the premieres and stuff. And even if you do have a team to like be a middleman and put you in front of these people who decide to get you into premieres or decide to put you on the cover of magazines, they still don't have to do that. I don't think
No,
people
they don't.
understand, like,
It doesn't
you
work like
can't,
that.
no, it doesn't. They had to make the decision, obviously. I
Mm.
mean, the decision came from you, yes or no, either way,
Yeah.
but they had to make the decision to be like, yes, we do want her on this cover. Yes, we do want her to come to this premiere. Or yes, we do want her on this red carpet and at this event and on this runway and so on. It's not just, hey, here's some Benjamins and get me in. Or
Yeah. And I think it's hard to explain to
it
people
is.
that you're creating, but you're working.
Right. Yes. Like
There's
they can coexist.
yes, and there's
Yeah.
another side of it too where I got a job during the pandemic working
Mm,
at Bustle doing celebrity news writing.
nice.
I did not at the time love it,
Mm.
but and it didn't pay that well. But then the next job I got, they were like, you need news. It was like a dream job. Like I made it up in the shower. I was like, I would just love to work at Enemy. They don't hire people in the US, but like it would be so cool to work there. And I remember envisioning myself at the Enemy Awards that had been canceled at that point. Like they weren't doing it anymore. And then the next year, I'm an editor at Enemy and I'm at the award show. But when I accepted that job, that news writing job, I hadn't done that before.
Mm.
And because I learned how to do that through that job, I was able to get the next job. So it's like we're still experiencing
Right,
the
right.
growth. We're still like doing the work. It's like sometimes the universe gives you a job opportunity that teaches you how to do interviews or that teaches you how to work with people, or then you become a producer because you have this smaller job being a producer. So it's not like we're manifesting out of complete like now I'm a, an astronaut, but maybe I don't, maybe I wouldn't put it past anybody, but like
Yes.
there's work happening, but
Right.
also we're choosing, we're deciding, we're creating. No
Right.
one's like we're not just like handing over money so that we can be in things.
Yes.
Like that's not how publications work. If anybody's wondering, I'm an editor at Paper Magazine. Like you can't that's you have to actually have a background and a career
It's
to be
true.
highlighted in a publication.
True.
Um, so yeah, I get why it's confusing if you don't try it. You really have to just like Neville has this lecture about the pearl of great price where it's like you have if you're gonna not test it yourself, then don't even try it. Like
I'm saying. Yeah.
don't talk about it, don't think about it. Either you go all in, you
Hmm.
decide that that's how it works, and you just find out for yourself. Because
Yep.
if you half decide, you're not going to get the result.
It's true. It's true. You get half-assed.
You get a half-assed life.
Hey, that's what it is. I mean, hey, your choice. But yeah, okay. So I think we hit all of the points I wanted to. This was a really fine, amazing example of whoever needs to move, whatever has to happen will happen for you to get your manifestation. And all I did, again, I didn't specifically affirm for UPROXX, but UPROXX was on the list of different like publications, articles, websites, magazines, red carpet premieres that I wanted to get into in some sort of way. And I decided in, I think it was June, July, this is going to happen. It's going to come to me. And it happened. And for y'all, I did not know Erica before this happened.
You know,
I didn't know her. I didn't know how to get in touch with UPROXX. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't even know who worked for them. This is just how it
I
happened.
wasn't even actively like freelancing for Upwork. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that is kind of ridiculous. Like we're talking about a legitimate record label. I'm pretty sure they got bought by another company in the
Yeah.
process of this. Like a lot of things that happened that led to this that you could not have, like nobody could have realized were going to happen, but it worked
Right.
out.
And that's just proof that it's not logical. And things will happen in the most magical ways if you just allow it to.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to say to everyone?
Yeah, I think it's just honestly like even somebody that practices this, like you can get tired sometimes or something will happen and you forget. And I
Mm.
always try to tell myself like I'm a human. I came here to experience this. It's totally fine if I get caught up in the dream and forget for a second that I can control it because I came here to experience these things. But it's so good to have days like today where you're like, wait a minute, let me just go through my email and like you're like, whoa, wait a second, this conversation happened months before the interview and like so many things had to happen for this to fall into place and
Uh-huh.
it did. So hopefully this will increase someone's faith that's, feeling a little bit like this doesn't work or this isn't going to happen and yeah, decide and see what happens and test it yourself. Like don't take our words for it because you're only going to be depending on us.
Oh,
So,
yeah. And that's not what you want to do.
yeah. And the other thing is just like decide and don't feel weird about it. This isn't witchcraft. You're not doing anything naughty.
Yes,
You're
you're
just
fine.
deciding like you're fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to plug yourself?
Sure. My name's Erica, obviously, as we talked about. I'm a music journalist. You can check out my work probably on Instagram is best at ERICACXMPBELL, where I share my stories. And it's an honor to be talking to you, Taylor. I'm so glad that I got to talk to you multiple times, which I feel like is my manifestation.
Aw.
And yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy creating.
Yay.